Title: Why are Jewish people among the smartest and most successful in the world? Throughout the history of mankind, many civilizations and ethnic groups have left significant marks. However, few peoples have made such a strong and lasting impression as the Jewish people. A small minority, comprising less than 0.2% of the global population, yet possessing exceptional intellectual achievements. They have won over 20% of Nobel Prizes and include countless renowned names in science, philosophy, medicine, arts, and technology. What enables such a small community to exert such a tremendous influence? This article explores the answer from multiple perspectives: history, religion, culture, education, psychology, and genetics. Historical imprint. Adversity breeds strength. The history of the Jewish people is a saga of exile, persecution, and survival. After the fall of the kingdoms of Israel and Judah to the Babylonian and Roman empires, Jews were forced to abandon their homeland and disperse across Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. For 2,000 years, they lived as minorities, subject to discrimination, prohibited from owning land, restricted in occupations, and often massacred, the Holocaust under Nazi Germany being the most horrific example. Yet this tragic circumstance became a powerful catalyst that forged their resilience, flexible thinking, and extraordinary adaptability. Deprived of land and political power, Jews had to rely on what could not be taken away: their intellect. They thrived in fields like commerce, finance, medicine, and law, professions dependent entirely on knowledge and skill. Adversity created pressure, pressure forged intelligence. Religion and intellectual tradition, core values. Unlike many belief systems, Judaism does not encourage blind faith, but rather promotes questioning, debate, and reasoning. The two foundational texts of Judaism, the Torah and the Talmud, are not merely religious scriptures, but also educational, legal, and moral compendiums for the entire community. The Talmud, in particular, stands out with thousands of years of commentary and debate among rabbinic scholars on all matters from personal ethics to social organization. Jewish children are taught from a young age to read, analyze, and debate scripture. Asking questions is seen as a sign of intelligence, not impertinence. A 5-year-old may already be learning ancient Hebrew, reading scriptures, and being encouraged by parents and teachers to challenge what they don't understand. This fosters critical thinking, logic, and independence, the very pillars of modern intelligence. Education, a sacred duty to God. In Jewish culture, education is not a choice, but a sacred obligation. Even the poorest Jewish families strive to educate their children. Throughout history, many Jewish scholars recount childhood memories of parents studying with them every evening or hand-copying books because they couldn't afford to buy them. The first school for a Jewish child is not preschool, but the synagogue. Children as young as 3 can be seen sitting with the rabbi, learning letters dipped in honey, so the sweetness of knowledge seeps in from an early age. Upon reaching adulthood, every Jew is expected to continue learning, reading, and researching, part of their covenant with God. A person who does not study is considered disrespectful to their religious identity. Natural selection, a biological hypothesis. Some scientists have proposed a controversial hypothesis. From the 9th to the 17th century, in the Ashkenazi Jewish community, mainly in Central and Eastern Europe, there was a process of natural intellectual selection. During that period, those with intellectual professions, such as lawyers, merchants, and teachers, had better living conditions and more children, while laborers or the impoverished had fewer chances to pass on their genes. Over dozens of generations, the average IQ of this group may have risen above normal. While not conclusively proven, this hypothesis is supported by data that suggests that the average IQ of Ashkenazi Jews is around 110 to 115, significantly higher than the global average of 100. This may reflect centuries of rigorous education and indirect selection through socioeconomic factors. Community culture, celebrating intelligence and inspiration. Jewish culture venerates intelligence rather than resenting it. A child with academic achievements is celebrated by the community and seen as a collective source of pride. Successful individuals in the sciences, the arts, or business are viewed as testaments to the strength of the entire people. Storytelling traditions about great scholars, inventors, and prophets provide Jewish children with inspirational role models. In addition, small study groups, minyans, synagogues, libraries, and nonprofit organizations create an environment where knowledge is shared, mentoring is encouraged, and tuition, scholarships, and research are supported. This well-rounded intellectual ecosystem has been maintained for centuries. Outstanding achievements, statistics that speak. Jews make up less than 0.2% of the world's population, but have won over 20% of Nobel Prizes. In physics, Albert Einstein, Richard Feynman, Isidore Rabi. In medicine, Jonas Salk, polio vaccine. Paul Ehrlich, immunotherapy. In the arts, Steven Spielberg, Leonard Bernstein. In technology, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Larry Page, Google, Sergey Brin, Google, Michael Dell, Dell Technologies. These numbers are not coincidental. They are the result of centuries of accumulated knowledge, serious education, and a unique cultural ecosystem. Intelligence as a collective mission. Jewish intelligence is not a divine gift, but the product of painful history, strict education, unique faith, supportive community, and a culture that celebrates intellect. Not everyone is a genius, but the proportion of outstanding individuals is unusually high because the entire community prioritizes intellect as a survival mission. The Jewish people teach us that intelligence is not just genetic, it is the result of effort, culture, continuous training, and a proper communal environment. If a small people can achieve such greatness, anyone with the right mindset can reach new heights. Knowledge is the longest-lasting and most sustainable path to liberation. That is what the Jewish people have proven through blood, tears, and the light of human intellect.